toxic, but I can't get enough. You're firing me, yeah, you're firing me. You've got me hypnotized, push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. Whoa, I can see, I can hear, going crazy for the light. It's got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. Get you out of my hand.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sokovia. As you can see, I am OLED Ed Fries, and I'm joined by Andre, the Age of Ultron C. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. How are you, sir?
I'm ready to talk about this one because there's a lot to talk about, both good and bad.
What's bad about this movie? This is a great movie.
There's a lot of bad in this movie.
I don't know of any bad in this movie. It's all good.
Video bro Bobby Munson joining us, saying good evening, guys. How are you doing? I'm doing well. I was getting ready for the stream. I had White Collar on one screen. I had AEW muted on the other. I watched
Mariah May is the best now.
Mariah
better.
is always the best. Let's
She keeps getting better.
She did. Heel turn. Hashtag heel turn.
No, that's a face turn. What are you talking about?
No. It's a heel turn.
She is the good guy in that. Come on. We all
she
know that.
She is a lot of things, but the good guy is not going to be the phrase that I will use.
Oh, yeah. Tony Storm is always a heel.
Speaking of the good guy that the crowd of Canada truly was behind, we had Chris Jericho take on Samoa Joe in that one and put him through an empty wall and send him to the hospital because reasons.
Fuck.
Daniel Bryan won the Owen Hart Cup on the men's side, which
that surprised the shit out of me. Seems
like a bad decision in my mind, but then again, I'm not in tune with the AEW universe, so maybe it was a good one. No. He is absolutely still Canadian. We do not take credit for him. We do not.
He was born in your country.
No. He is a Canadian.
No. He's an American first. Just remember that he was an American first.
He is.
So he is yours, Ed.
Through and through Canadian.
He is all yours.
Here where he was born. No, Bobby. We don't want him. He's all
yours, Ed. He is. He proudly calls himself American now too. So
for years, you guys talked about how he was on your Mount Rushmore of Canadian wrestlers. He's all yours.
Never been on mine. Never once. Never know how. Has never been on my Rushmore.
Anyways, none of this is Age of Ultron related.
He's not even on my Mount Rushmore of wrestlers from Winnipeg.
Well, I mean, there's Kenny Omega, and then what? Is it 4 Kenny Omegas? Like
Don Callis, and other people I know from Winnipeg.
I'd be more likely to put wrestlers at LPW and RCW on that list over Don Callis. I think Don Callis is great. Don't get me wrong, but I was never a fan of his in-ring work.
I put him on there for his man.
He's a great stick man, don't get me wrong. But again, we're diverging here. This is not an AEW broadcast.
It can be.
I would not be the one leading.
Do AEW for the rest of the show.
I mean, I could probably talk more about AEW than I want to talk about. All right, so let's get to Age of Ultron.
This is a great movie.
This is a good movie.
This is better than others.
It is
better than Guardians 2, that's for sure.
It is vastly better than other movies. It is not great by any means. This movie was announced in May 2012 after the successful release of The Avengers, helmed again by Joss Whedon, written by Joss Whedon, and you can tell. It includes the ensemble cast that we know and love. Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, Jeremy Renner, Don Cheadle. It brings in people that we've started to see peppered around. Anthony Mackie. It brings in Colby Smuthers back in again. Paul Bettany is back. Elizabeth Olsen and Aaron Taylor Johnson make their first foray into actual Marvel movies, as opposed to just post-credit scene Marvel movie. We also get more Hallie Atwell, Idris Elba, Linda Cardellini, Stellan Skarsgård, Samuel L. Jackson, and of course, the titular villain of the piece, James Spader as Ultron.
Yes.
The best part of this movie is James Spader's Ultron.
Yes, but there's a lot of other great things about this movie.
It's a shame that this is a one-and-done villain.
No, he came back.
No. The Disney cruise does not count as returning.
No, what if? Come on.
That was one, not James Spader, and two, that was Ultron Supreme, and it was Vision Ultron as opposed to other Ultron.
Yeah,
you know, the movie can thank the most recent Marvel movies for bumping it up much further on the list of. I agree. This movie does get a bit of heavy lifting from the Infinity War Endgame.
Get ready for us to get into Phase 4, because I'm going to rate some movies above this one. That's for sure. And
like I said, this is not the worst Marvel movie. I just have issues with a lot of things that happen in this movie. But again, James Spader is perfect as Ultron. I mean, he feels villainous. He feels maniacal. He brings all of that to this. And the fact that they were able to do Ultron without Mr. Fantastic is kudos to the Marvel storytelling by making us believe that Bruce Banner can live up to that level of hype. Because in the comic books, Ultron is created by Hank Pym, Mr. Fantastic. It's all part of that realm. It's not Tony Stark in any way, shape, or form. It's really Hank Pym and Hank Pym with the help of Mr. Fantastic. So it's one of those. It's a little iffy on the realism here, but I like what they've done. I believed that this was Tony Stark trying to create AI.
Yeah, me too.
This movie came out in 2015, and it's a movie. It came out April 13th, 2015. $365,000 budget. Well budgeted because it's got a big cast.
365,000? That's a really good budget.
Million.
1,000. That screwed me up. I'm like,
I
what?
said million.
Oh, I thought you said 1,000.
No, I did not.
Well,
it does,
Bobby. Let us know.
It does open in this fantastic fight scene where you get that great comic book panorama, like 2-page shot of all the Avengers lunging in at the same time, and you get that nice little splash page.
Yeah.
As they're trying to take over one of these Hydra bases run by
behind us. That one right there.
It is literally this place. Here, let me see if I can move us so that we can go ahead and have this in shot. Here we go. We'll move us up here for now. Update layout. There we go.
Yeah.
This is the base they were trying to get into. And they don't quite succeed. Because at first, they try to get in, and Iron Man bangs against the force field, and he says, "Shit." And Captain America says, "What?"
Watch your language.
Yeah. Which would become a running joke throughout the movie.
Oh, one of the second best joke in this movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Please tell me the first one is the ever like increasing Hawkeye and Quicksilver. You didn't see that coming, did you?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Okay, good. I'm glad we're on the same page. That language is just slightly below. You didn't see that coming.
Just slightly below, but it's so good. It's so good.
Baron von Strucker sends all of his Goonies out to die. so that they can go ahead and.
Aw, children are gonna die.
Oh, Strucker was trying to kill everybody.
Well, you said Goonies, so I assume it's at least sending children.
No, well, his goons, his Goonies, his henchmen. Is that a better word?
Yeah, you said Goonies, and all I can think of is that stupid movie from the 80s that I haven't seen.
Yeah, it's a dumb movie. I've not seen it either. It's fine. But anyways, they try to get in. They can't. They finally do get in. There's a great fight scene. This is a really good first act fight scene. It's the first time I think in any of the Marvel movies we started with a fight scene.
Yeah.
Bobby has been saying his Goonies. I hope we're doing the Truffle Shuffle. Again, sure. That's a phrase that should mean something to us, but because we've never seen the movie, we don't know.
I know the scene. It's a fat kid that dances. So
I do know that Kaylee Kwan, the guy who played Ouroboros and Loki, was in that movie, right? I'm pretty sure he was in the movie.
I think so. Never seen it.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's fine.
I believe you, Bobby. I believe you. Yeah.
We believe you more than we believe that you called the score of the England game again, but it's fine.
Yeah, because I don't believe that at all.
No, they have video footage apparently, supposedly. They have doctored video footage. They have doctored video.
It's probably doctored. It's probably like in the Simpsons where he goes to say the name of the football teams, and it's just a voiceover of the two teams that actually played in that Super Bowl.
Andre was watching it live.
I don't know if I was. I can't prove that. You can't prove I was watching it live. You can't prove that.
But they finally get in there. Tony Stark finds a hidden wall, to which he finds Baron von Strucker doing all kinds of experiments with Loki's staff. Because that's what they've been after. They've been after Loki's staff. And Baron von Strucker's been digging down a specific well. The well of artificial intelligence.
Yep.
Bobby, I already have 2 strikes. I'm not going to test you, my friend.
I'll test you. I don't have any strikes yet.
I have 2 strikes today. I've been a naughty boy in the Discord. I have 2 strikes.
You're just naughty all the time. Come on.
I even think Mel's mad at me because I didn't put quotation marks next to something, and she thought I called Stephanie Vakir a nobody. I was like, no, that's not what
it was just the way it was worded. That's why.
Yes, I agree. It was a syntax error, but Mel never confirmed that I was okay after I corrected.
You're fine. You're fine.
But this is where we see Wanda Maximoff use her abilities for the first time, and she gets in Tony's head, and she gives him a vision of all the Avengers dead and dying underneath his feet.
Mm-hmm.
Steve looks up at him and says, "Why didn't you save us? You could have done more."
This is the dumbest of all the visions, in my opinion. Of all the visions, it's the dumbest because it's the only one that makes zero sense. Because this is this is purely an ego trip for this man. Mm-hmm. Like, this is purely an ego trip for this asshole because they're like, it's Cap about everything we'll talk about it later. But it's Cap everything he lost. Thor about all the things he's scared of. Black Widow of her biggest fear and thing that hurt her in her life. His is just a fucking ego trip.
Yeah. Tony, you should have done more. You should have saved us all. You shouldn't have let us all die. And it's like, seriously, boys, that's what we're going with?
Yeah.
We're going with Tony should have done more and not let us die? It's one of the things I have an issue with. During this, Quicksilver first meets Hawkeye, and he grabs the arrow as Hawkeye shoots it, and the thing doesn't blow up, and Hawkeye's confused, so he shoots another arrow, and it gets caught again. And then Hawkeye gets blasted by one of the beams from one of the cannons that's in the thing and goes down, which, as Strucker said, focus on... They were like, can we defeat them? They're like, they're the Avengers. We can't defeat them. They're like, hit one of the weak ones. Maybe they'll close ranks.
Yeah, which I kind of do, but it only inspires them to do better.
Yeah, It basically sparks the Avengers to be like, all right, we fucked around with you enough. Now we're done.
Yeah. Because Thor gets him out of there, right?
Yeah, Thor gets him out of there. Steve is helping, round everybody up, and Iron Man's gone down and gets the scepter. It's fine. It's good. I don't mind it. This is where on the plane ride back we hear the first name of, for a group of people who do a lot of finger pointing at Tony. They sure were sad when his ass died.
It's so good.
Not wrong.
No, not wrong at all. Not wrong at all.
We then see, for the first time, Helen Cho is introduced to us. And she has a machine that can grow human tissue. Which would be nice nowadays. That'd be great. We could really use this machine nowadays if it actually existed.
Yeah, very much so.
She says that the resurrection cradle could have done this in minutes, as opposed to the hours it's going to take to do it with whatever machine they have on the Avengers compound. Maria Hill is now running the Avengers compound, where Tony makes the quick joke that Cap's the leader. I'm just the one that pays for everything and gets everything and runs everything. But
yeah.
And then
no. This is an Avengers compound yet. They're going to Avengers Tower at this point.
Is this still the tower? Oh, yeah, right. This is still the tower.
Because compound is at the end of the movie.
Compound is at the end of the movie. You're right.
Yeah, I had to think about it for myself for a second there. Yeah.
But Tony decides to take a look under the hood of the scepter, and they're going to have a party with Revels, and everybody's excited for Revels. Well, Cap's not excited for Revels. I don't know if Cap knows how to party, but the rest of them
does.
Thor does.
And that's all that matters. Thor knows how to party.
But Tony and Bruce decide to take a lap underneath the hood of the stone inside the scepter. And they find out that it essentially works like a human brain. It doesn't work like a computer. And Tony decides that this is a chance to take the Ultron initiative and get it up and running. Tony wants to create AI. If we've learned nothing from all movies, AI is bad. We should never create AI because AI will take over the world.
Especially with what came in. I know it's a different set of writers. It's Marcus and McFeely writing in Endgame. But how do we not get a pop culture AI reference here from Bruce Banner? How did we not get that?
Yep. Again, this is Josh Whedon in his own little world doing his own little thing, and the biggest problem with this movie is that it's Josh Whedon doing it.
It's a good movie. Why do you keep saying that? He did a good job with this movie.
He did an okay job with this movie.
He did a good job with this movie.
This movie is fine. This movie is fine.
It's good. It's a good movie.
Then we get to the party and everybody's having a good time. Rhodey's telling War Machine stories, which obviously Iron Man and Thor no sell.
But then everybody else loves his stories.
Yeah, I do love the fact that we get that little scene where he's like, this story kills. Everybody loves this story. And it's like, oh, well, it's a good story. He's like, yeah, it's a War Machine story. It's like, well, it's great for you. I'm Thor. I'm bigger than that.
And then he goes to the other group and tells the story. And everybody's like,
and they all laugh and think it's great. I love it. It's such a good little 20-second scene that needed to be in the movie because it does pay off the joke that they don't like it. Bobby says, I hate AI so much. Well, unless it's in StreamYard or Canva or my Googlebot or my Alexa. Oh, damn. I guess I like my robot overlords.
Hail to the robot overlords.
The only overlords that I allow are our local establishment overlords. Mm. Remember that if you want to follow and make our local establishment overlords, you can find them right there at all of these wonderful social media places.
Bobby and Astrid are our overlords.
I mean, they really are. I don't want to sit there. Yes, I did. Look! I put up the banner for you guys. Aren't you proud of me? I never do this.
Oh, our robot overlord. Thank you.
So this then starts the party. This is where we get our Stan Lee cameo, where Stan Lee is just one of these war vets who's at the party, who tries to take some of Thor's Asgardian ale and ends up super, super drunk.
Oh my god. It was to go good, and Stan Lee's just like, Excelsior. All drunk. Like, I loved that.
Yeah, so great. I love it. We get Bruce Banner and Natasha Romanoff flirting at the bar. Natasha Romanoff doing her best 30s bar vixen routine with the white top and the black skirt with the dark red lipstick.
And she wants that Hulk attack, you know.
She does indeed want the Hulk attack, but he doesn't understand what's going on. And Captain America comes up and he's like, "I like this, you and her." And he's like, "No, we're just flirting. She likes to flirt." He's like, "No, I've seen her flirt up close. This is different." And he walks away, and Brandon's like, "Oh, okay, wait, up close? What do you mean?"
It's so good, so good.
There are so many great little jokes, but the problem is, I don't think any of these jokes are written in the script. I think all of these jokes are kind of things that the cast does on their own that probably aren't baked into the script.
Dude, shut the fuck up. You know that.
What has Josh Whedon ever done that's good? But besides the original Avengers movie, which you couldn't screw up if you tried.
Buffy, Firefly, Serenity.
No, Firefly doesn't count. Firefly wasn't good. It got canceled after one season.
It was still good. It's one season is still good. So wrong.
Fox obviously disagreed. Fox canceled that shit.
Yeah, but it's still a good show.
He's
done a Dr. Horrible sing along blog. It's a great freaking short. It's so good.
I have no idea what the hell that is.
Oh, it's Nathan Fillion and Neil Patrick Harris, and you have to watch it. Yeah, it's greatness.
But then we get Ultron. Ultron beats up Jarvis in the AI battle.
Mm-hmm.
In the little computer realm, and then he gets inside of the Iron Legion bots, and he gets inside one of the broken Iron Legion, and we get this great. In one of the trailers, they have the really slow and depressing Pinocchio song. There are no more strings, and we get a kind of like a little like line of that where he's basically reciting that song as he's kind of jerk walking, you know, with a broken robot, talking about how he had to kill the other guy and how the Avengers need to die because he has to protect the world. He has to be a suit of armor around the world. And he realizes that the Avengers are the thing that compromise the world the most because humans are the problem, which honestly is true. Us humans are the problem and we are the solution someday, maybe. Kind of. Sort of. Video bro Bobby Munson comes in and says he also did Cabin in the Woods, and you both might not be horror fans, but that movie was fantastic. I've heard of it.
I did see that one. It was pretty good, and he did produce Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so which was a good show. So
I mean,
I enjoy that show. I had a great time watching this show. I rewatched that show so many times.
I like a lot of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I do like a lot of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Him and his brother did a good job with that show.
They did. I will admit that. I just like picking on Whedon. I don't think Whedon saw that great. Anyways, moving on. We then get Thor telling us about the Infinity Stones. Thor. We go through. What is it?
He doesn't talk about the Infinity Stones yet. That's not until
later.
That's when Vision. What's the Vision shit?
Okay, so that is later.
Because it's not until after she sees his vision.
Oh no, we then go to Ulysses Claw. We finally see Claw for the first time. This was good.
Claw but he doesn't have a claw.
He doesn't. He's about to have the claw. This is where he gets the claw from.
Well, okay, so they meet up. Like Ultron meets with the twins first, and then he takes them the claw.
Yeah, he takes them the claw. The Maximoffs tell us a story about. I don't believe. No, it is now. Pietro tells us a story about the little picture in his wallet that he keeps of him and his family, And he talks about how the Stark bomb, the Stark missile that crashed into their house that didn't blow up. And they sat there staring at a Stark missile for 3 days, waiting for, as he says, for Tony Stark to kill them.
I love this. It just gives them it's a perfect reason for them to volunteer for Strucker's experiments and do this shit. I'm like, this is great writing here. Like, this story is great backstory writing here.
We then, at one point when we're talking about the twins, we also get Captain America telling Maria Hill that about them, and she's like, "Yeah, what kind of people would sign up to let a German, scientist experiment on them?" And he's like, "Yeah, how crazy would that be?" Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. She's like, "Yeah, but they're not. But they're not at war." And he's like, "They think they are."
They had a bomb dropped on their house. They're definitely at war. Yeah, they're at war.
But we then have the time where everybody else, other than Hawkeye, gets hit with the whammy of Wanda Maximoff.
I love the line when she goes to do it. He just turns an arrow and just shock arrows her in the head. And he's like, "I've done mind control before. I'm not doing that shit again." He's just like, "I'm not. No, just no." I loved it so much.
Seeing Natasha's backstory here was great. We see her training in the Red Room as a young lady. And we get the hints at what we'll find out later about the fact that they're sterilized, because the only thing that can become in front of a mission, in front of the country, would be having a child. We see Captain America, and his fear was going back in time and being there with Peggy and all of that. Which I think is weird. It's a weird fear to have.
It's not. I don't think it's fear. I think it's his regret. For him, it's not fear, because this is, and really, if you think about it, he is Daredevil. He is a man without fear. If you really think about Captain America, but because he doesn't fear that, he regrets not having it, and it's her tapping into your deepest emotions. And
okay, it's not fear.
In my personal opinion, because if you look at Stark's, his isn't fear. His is pure ego. She's tapping into his ego and creating an inflated sense of ego in his bad. Then you have like Thor. It's the uncertainty of everything for him. Yes, for Black Widow, it is her fear, what she fears most, and what happened to her. And for him, for Captain America, because it's a man who doesn't have any true fear at this point in his career, or at this point in his life. Hi, Ashad.
The boss is here.
Hello, boss. But it's not. He doesn't have any true fear, but he has regret. Lots of regret. Yeah.
The Thor one is really good. I like that. They have a Heimdall where he's basically saying, that Odin's the Odin's son, Thor, is the one who's responsible for killing them, which he will. He will be responsible in a way for killing a large percentage of the Asgardian people.
Mm-hmm.
When we get to Thor Ragnarok, Astrid says, "Boss, where?" I refer back to Bobby where he said, "Astrid's the boss."
Yeah, Astrid's the boss.
You're the boss, Astrid.
Yeah. Maybe Astrid didn't see that, though.
She didn't. She wasn't here yet. But no, like I said, I think that, Thor's... I can explain away in my own mind a way where Thor is responsible for the destruction of Asgard. He's the one who chooses to let Ragnarok happen. In order to defeat Hela, they have to let Ragnarok happen. So in part, he's responsible for the death of all of these Asgardians. So I think that one comes true in the end.
I disagree with that, just in the fact that he did evacuate everybody that was still alive in Asgard. Hela is the response. Hela killed everybody else. That's on Hela for killing everybody else. He evacuated everybody that was alive.
I guarantee you that was not all of the people of Asgard, because we know in Loki we see total planetary destruction, and there's the number was in the millions of Asgardians who died. So Thor didn't get all of the Asgardians off the planet.
Yeah, but all those Asgardians might not have been living on the planet, just like Tessa Thompson's character wasn't living there at the time. So there you go.
Bobby defines what a boss is, and is a leader who unites people and leads by example, i.e. Astrid.
Yes, very much so.
Speaking of somebody who's not a leader, that would definitely be Ultron. Ultron is not a good leader.
He's more of a maniacal dictator.
He is more of a maniacal dictator.
Yeah.
And he takes the vibranium from Ulysses Claw. He pays him handsomely for it.
Hey, after ripping his arm off.
No. So he pays him handsomely for it, and then he quotes Tony Stark because he gives that Stark quote: "You keep your friends rich, you keep your enemies rich, and someday you'll find out which is which."
Mm-hmm.
And Claw remembers that, and he goes, "That's a phrase from Tony Stark. You're one of his empty robots." And that's where Ultron gets mad and cuts off his arm.
That's true.
And then we get one of the coolest fight scenes in this entire movie. Probably the coolest fight scene in this entire movie.
Don't get me wrong, the final fight scene when they're great. In the
I enjoy it thoroughly.
But this one is just cool just to watch the Hulk versus the Hulkbuster.
Yes,
that is pretty goddamn dope.
As we call it.
Well, it is the Hulkbuster. It's Veronica.
It is the Hulkbuster, but the project is called
Protocol, but it is Hulkbuster armor.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree. It's wholeheartedly the Hulkbuster, and that fight is great. You see Tony Stark finally able to go toe to toe with the Hulk, which might be something we see somebody else go toe to toe with. I like it when he's like, "Come on, you're better than this, Banner." He's like, and then the Hulk growls, and he's like, "No, I forgot. Don't mention Puny Banner."
So many good lines in here. When they're flying at the building, he's like, how fast could I buy this building?
Yeah.
There's so much
there's
good.
A lot of good in that.
Yeah. So much good.
It's such a great fight scene. All kinds of good stuff there. But then we move on. Ultron uses the scepter to get Helen Cho under his control. Which gives her the informational know-how to be able to go ahead and use the cradle with the vibranium to start building a body.
Just like Skarsgård from Thor or from Avengers. Yep.
Yeah. Not only does it give you mind control, but the mind control unlocks portions of your brain that you would not normally be able to access. So you can do tasks that you wouldn't normally know.
Yeah. Sure.
Because Skarsgård's character says in the first Avengers movie, I didn't even know I needed it. The scepter, it showed me truth. It showed me things that I never knew before. So because it's the Mind Stone.
Yeah,
it can
100%.
Knowledge. It can impart.
100%.
This, however, is also the place where Ultron upsets the twins. Because Wanda reads the mind of the body that Ultron's trying to create for himself and sees that it's only designed. It's not MODOK. It's not a machine only designed for killing. However, it is a machine designed for global destruction. Which puts them on the other team. So now we have Cap, Widow, and the twins trying to take on Ultron and the Ultron bots. And it's a fun little fight scene through the middle of Sokovia. But at the end of the day, Ultron gets away. He doesn't get away with his body, but he gets away.
Yeah. Well, that little chase scene, I actually quite... Well, no, that's not in Sokovia. That's in Korea.
Oh, you're right. That is in Seoul, Korea. I am incorrect.
Yeah. So I'm not trying to like, hey,
no,
wrong.
I have my notes up here, and I did read them wrong.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I'm pretty sure that happened in Seoul, Korea, where she is. Yeah.
But it happens in Cho's lab.
Sorry, Seoul, South Korea. Let's be specific. Let's be specific about that.
Don't be specific.
No, don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
I know. However, Natasha Romanoff gets captured by Ultron, but Clint gets away with the body.
And the twins join the team.
Yeah, and the body's going back to Tony Stark, which Wanda Maximoff has big problems with. Because as she says, and she so rightfully says this, Ultron can't tell the difference between saving the world and destroying the world. Who do you think he gets that from?
Bruce Banner. The man who created him.
Hank Pym.
Well,
the one thing I'll say,
hey, it makes sense because Hank Pym. It's Hank Pym in either of the comics, and that's the mind he's based off of. And here it's Tony, and who
I agree. I was going to say, in the comics, Ultron is a completely different beast, and the reason why he's a different beast is because Ultron was created to be the guard of the negative zone.
Mm.
And again, most of this isn't necessarily comic related, as it is Avengers Assemble, the cartoon show, which is absolutely fantastic. If you haven't watched it, you need to watch it. It's great. It's on Disney Plus. It's fantastic. There's like 2 or 3 seasons of it. It's one of the animated Avengers shows. It's great. I love that version of Ultron really a ton too, but this Ultron is just so much better. However, we then have the big moral debate as Tony's trying to get Bruce to put the Mind Stone into the he's trying to bring Vision to life with Jarvis into the Mind Stone. And all of a sudden Captain America gets back with the twins and they all have a verbal tete-a-tete until Quicksilver says, screw all of this, and he unplugs everything. He's all right, now we can talk.
But Thor, the God of Hammers, shows up. And
first, Hawkeye shoots out the floor underneath him, which is great. There's that great slow motion of the arrow just coming slowly up.
It's a bullet. It's a bullet. He fired a gun.
It's a bullet. I'm sorry. Yes, it's a bullet. It just slowly goes past Aaron Taylor Johnson's face.
And then he just drops.
It's so good.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And then he goes, "You didn't see that coming." He pulls the line back out. I was just like, yes. Yeah.
And then Banner grabs Wanda, and he goes, "I can break you. I can choke you to death and break you without changing a shade."
Yeah, which is
and
great.
I'm like, "Oh, that's so good."
So evil in a way.
Yeah,
he's a mad scientist. Remember, he's a mad scientist.
Meanwhile, while all this was going on beforehand, Thor had gone to the pool of waters. But I don't even know what they call it. I don't have it in my notes. I did forget. I think
it's a well of something.
Yeah, it's something stupid. And he sees visions in the water, and in this he sees the 6 Infinity Stones.
Yeah, because it's a cutout scene in the movie. It's one of the deleted scenes.
It's not the vision isn't in the movie. He goes to the waters and they do the thing, but you don't see the visions in the movie. But it is on Disney Plus as a deleted scene.
And same with Tony going to find to the hub and where he discovers Jarvis.
That is in the movie. Part of that is in the movie. Because we see
talking about it.
No, we see him in Oslo going, "I'm trying to decrypt nuclear codes and you don't want me to."
I literally watched this twice and it's not on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it is. It is on Disney Plus.
Not the copy I watched. I watched it twice.
All right. Why don't you talk about the one thing we forgot to talk about? After the Hulkbuster fight, we go to the Barton farmhouse. I completely
completely skipped over that. So that's
great.
We
skipped over the best part of this movie.
Yeah. Arguably, like, dude, them showing up and he's just like, we're going, it's a safe house, and he takes him there. He walks in, and it is his wife comes in. He's like, oh, that's Tony's just like, oh, that's just another agent. And then he sees, and then the children come out, and he's like, they're just tiny agents, little agents. I laughed so hard. Oh God, it was so good. And again, the way they were talking about. I was getting this feel like the way they were doing it was like when they were talking about him is when he was asked if he had a girlfriend, he says, "Oh, I got no girlfriend," and everything. And I was like, are they trying to play him to be? I was thinking to make Clint gay, is the way it. And he was talking on the phone, but he says yes, ma'am to somebody, and I'm like, okay, maybe not. And then they go home and they find his wife. I'm like, okay, he married Mockingbird, which we eventually find out in the Hawkeye series she is Mockingbird.
Well, he married Agent 13. We don't necessarily know that that's Mockingbird.
No, she's not Agent 13. 13 is Sharon Carter.
No, 13 is what's on the back of the watch that he gets for her in the Hawkeye series. The number on the back is 13.
Really? I thought it was.
It's a diverging gap. She should be Mockingbird. Yes, you are correct. It should be Mockingbird. However, the number on the back of the watch that they get from the Avengers compound has the number 13 on the back, and it was Laura Barton's watch.
Okay, I thought
they're mixed. Carter. Yeah, Sharon Carter should be Agent 13. In all actuality, that should be Agent 13. But again, okay. I know it's stupid. And by the way, I just want to. Sometimes I don't know why, but I have to be right sometimes.
What's that? Okay, the version I watch in Canada didn't have that. The scene doesn't appear in the Canadian version.
Okay, because I was going to say, it is here. This is, as you can see, it is the entire movie.
It is not in my version. What timestamp is that at?
Let me go back just a little bit. All right, so here's Thor at the Waters.
Yeah, is that one? Maybe America's playing the extended version. I never saw any of those scenes.
1614 I have.
I'm pulling it up. Sorry, I have to do this because I watched this movie twice and I'm thinking about those scenes, but I never saw them. And I watched this thing twice. I watched it a couple days ago and then I watched it again today. And I'm like, I never saw those scenes.
While Andre is pulling that up, there's this great little thing here between, and I'll leave it on this scene right here with Natasha so close to kissing the Hulk here, Bruce Banner. Oh. Okay, Andre's got his thing going on.
I must have missed this. What the hell?
It's a quick.
Yeah, the version I'm looking at only shows the Thor stuff.
Oh, okay, and then it goes right to something else.
Yeah. Weird. I must have not been paying attention at that point both times. I'm guessing I'm insane.
It's all right. One of the great things about the farmhouse scene is indeed this, where you have Bruce Banner and Natasha Romanoff going back and forth about not being able to have kids, not being able to have a future, and
calling themselves monsters.
Yeah, both calling themselves monsters for different reasons. He's a monster because he feels like a monster he becomes the Hulk. She's a monster because of the past that she's had to live and the things she's had to do. She knows the monster that lives inside her because of what she's done. It's such a great scene. So good. So good. Cannot talk more good things about this scene. And there's nothing fantastic about it. It's not clever wordplay. It's not super in-depth. It's just a delightfully great scene between two actors. Well, an actor and an actress, if you want to say. You know what I'm trying to say. Can't say anything more about that scene. It was fantastic. I thoroughly enjoy it. The vision comes to life.
I found the fucking Tony scene. God damn it.
It is in there?
Yes. How did I miss this? I watched this twice. I must have.
I was going to say, I know that it's a small scene, and I think there's a larger version of it. But I knew it. I saw it the other day, and I knew it was there because he sings the stupid song. He's like, "I'm downloading nuclear codes, and you don't want me to."
How did I miss that twice? Goddamn, I literally must have been like distracted by something both times I saw it. God damn it!
Let's talk a little bit here while we got a chance about the Vision. Paul Bettany brings the Vision to life. Jarvis comes to life as a full, living, breathing person? Question mark.
It should have been the guy from Agent Carter. Well, Ken, that's what Jarvis is based on. Is the guy is the butler servant that Tony and his dad had. So why doesn't it look like the guy? Naked Vision.
Edwin Jarvis. Yes, I know.
Naked Vision.
Naked Vision. Look at him.
Yeah.
Look at him just standing there in his nakedness.
Yeah.
No ears. Mind Stone.
And it's still one of the best scenes I've ever seen in my life. It's when he picks up the hammer. He just hands it because.
Yeah.
Oh, and we didn't talk about that. Cap in that earlier party before Ultron when they're
He
all doing
nudges
the lift the hammer. And it moves just slightly. It doesn't lift, but it moves. And you see Thor like, oh shit. And he goes, you couldn't lift it. But it's like he saw the movement. So like, and then Vision, because he's such a pure being, he has nothing bad. He just lifts it, hands to him, and it's like everybody in the room's just like, what? It was great. I love that.
Did you hear the rationale from some people who were involved in the Age of Ultron movie about the rationale for why Steve doesn't fully lift the hammer at this moment?
Why?
The rationale that I've heard from people who were involved in like interviews and stuff is Steve, while trying to lift the hammer, unlike everybody else who's focused on lifting the hammer, takes a quick look at Thor and sees that momentary freak out from Thor as the hammer nudges, and he refuses to pick it up.
Oh, he pretends not to lift it.
Supposedly, rumor and innuendo is that the Steve Rogers character in
he could lift it the whole time.
Could have lifted it at any point, but chose not to because of the fact that it would have hurt Thor to see him lift it.
And that makes him even more worthy.
Which makes the because remember, Thor is so ecstatic that he can wield Mjolnir in Endgame. The reason why he's so ecstatic is because he knew that he was worthy the whole time when he saw it nudge.
Yeah.
But because he's a pure soul, he doesn't lift it because it would hurt his friend.
Yeah. That makes it. I truly want to believe that he could lift it the whole time, just chose not to. Oh.
It's a great little piece of folklore, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going with that. That's official to me now.
It's canon. It's real to him, damn it.
Yep.
Like I said, there's a lot to like about this movie, but there's a lot of plotting portions of this movie too. There's just these moments where it's just dull and a little boring.
The entirety of Banner and Widow's love scenes makes no sense. I don't care. That doesn't need to be in the movie.
No, I love that scene. I think that's great. But there's a lot of like,
it's pointless. It's like, no, she didn't need to be there. She didn't need to be in love with him. No, just no.
Just no. Just no. Andre says just no to Widow.
No, not to Widow. I like the Widow character. I like Black Widow the movie. So just remember that. It's not the best movie in them. I'm not saying that. But I enjoy that movie.
Not the best movie.
I enjoy that movie. I like her. I like her character. I like it. Just I don't see the point of this relationship being put into this movie. Like I just don't personally. That's my feelings though. I'm crazy. So yeah. But as we jump around, back to
we end up after all of this, we end up back on Sokovia. Visions. We know that Ultron's in Sokovia.
It's because Nat's sending the signal, and they figure out where she is.
No, I know, but we end up on Sokovia dealing with Ultron again, and the whole team's trying to free the city, and Ultron's being Ultron, and we get this really cool pep talk from Hawkeye. And you know what? When Hawkeye has a good scene, you got to point it out because it's so rare that Hawkeye got good stuff.
You got an entire great series.
Yes, but this hadn't happened yet.
And I think, he got a lot of like bigger scenes in this movie, and it's Joss Whedon going, shit, I fucked up by not giving him enough in the first movie. I need to give him more in the second movie.
And then he gave him too much in certain portions.
I do agree that there is point, but like this stuff, I like the relationship that he builds with her.
Yeah,
I like that relationship.
Hey, look at me. It's your fault. It's everyone's fault. Who cares? Are you up for this? Are you? Look, I just need to know because the city is flying. Okay, look, the city is flying. We're fighting an army of robots. And I have a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense. But I'm going back out there because it's my job. Okay, and I can't do my job and babysit. Doesn't matter what you did, what you were. If you go out there, you fight, and you fight to kill. Stay in here, you're good. I'll send your brother to come find you, but if you step out that door, you are an Avenger.
I love it. It's so good. It is one of the best, like, you are an Avenger scenes in any of the movies.
Mm-hmm. And I gotta say this, I love his costume towards the end of this movie with the leather duster. Then when he takes it off, it's modeled after the Matt Fraction look, but not quite the Matt Fraction look yet, because that would have been it. Because that comic came out around. Because that came out a year after this. So
the Matt Fraction run, I believe, came out after this. Yes.
Yeah, that would have been 2016. Because I know they base a lot of it in Matt Fraction run in the TV show. It's based on the
2012 to 2015. It would have just been ending at this point.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. Was that way around?
Yeah, it starts in 2012. The first.
Oh,
episode.
okay. Yeah. My brain. I'm thinking about the full editions came out later on. Yeah. I'm going crazy.
The Fraction run.
It's influenced by the Fraction run.
It is absolutely.
And then the TV show is very much like all based around Fraction's run too.
The Disney Plus show is essentially the Matt Fraction comic. It's as close as you're ever going to get to the Matt Fraction Hawkeye,
except for Hawkeye's backstory, because he's in one. He's the ultimate bachelor.
No. Marvel would never have the balls to do the Hawkeye story that way.
No, that was a great story though.
It's a great story. If you like Hawkeye and you want to have a great Hawkeye story, the Matt Fraction Hawkeye run from 2012 to 2015 is the best Hawkeye you'll ever see.
Yep.
It's fantastic. Mm-hmm. But I love this scene because he's like, I love that. I have a bow and arrow. We're fighting against evil robots and I have a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense.
Yeah. Because it's like, why would this man be part of this? In reality, like, makes no sense.
And then that leads to her deciding to come out of the room and do this.
To know that this is the start of her evolution as a character it just makes me so happy. So happy.
Can we talk about Elizabeth Olsen for a minute here? Because she's
the best of the three sisters for sure.
What do you think about the accent?
She did a good job.
What do you think about the accent from here on out?
What do you mean?
The accent that comes and goes and never really stays where it's supposed to.
It's a movie. It's movies. I don't care. It's an accent. I really don't give a shit at this point.
If you want to hear more about Scarlet Witch, there'll be something that happens as soon as we finish this show in just a few minutes. Hello, Happy Hot Dog Man. Thank you for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. We get to the final battle. The city floats. Tony Stark. It starts to come back down because they're beating Ultron, and the only way he can do it is to destroy everybody. It's going to be a global killer.
Whoa! You missed the point where the helicarrier showed up to save everybody.
The helicarrier does show up. The helicarrier shows up. Nick.
They all fight him, and then she stays to protect the button, and then the helicarriers all show up. They go start running people off, and then Ultron gets a hold of the Quinjet. And this is where everything gets sad again.
Yeah.
Sad.
They start shooting at a little boy as Hawkeye is trying to protect the little boy, and Quicksilver runs through and pushes a car in the way, but he takes all the bullets instead of the car for some reason. And as he's about to fall to the ground, he looks at Hawkeye and he goes, "I bet you didn't see that coming."
Oh, heartbreaking move right there. Oh. And you
feel Hawkeye's pain because earlier in this movie, at one point, he tries to shoot Pietro with an arrow, and he goes, "Oh, the little shit died. Like I don't know what to tell you."
That was literally like 3 or 4 minutes before this when
it was so great. It's right after that scene we showed with Scarlet Witch, where Quicksilver comes and takes her, and Hawkeye has to book it on foot.
And he's just like, I could do this. The city exploded. Nobody would ever know. It's just so good. Oh,
and he's
so
talking
good.
to himself. Captain America swears when Nick Fury comes up with the helicarrier, and Samuel L. Jackson goes, "You kiss your mother with that mouth."
Everybody knows. It's just so good.
Yep, such a great one. Oh, because there's also a scene where at the dinner party, Maria Hill goes, "Hey, Steve, he said a bad word."
What does everybody know about this? Yep. Good stuff.
Yeah, they destroy the big vibranium tower thing that's going through the center of the city, which breaks off all the pieces into smaller pieces so that everybody can survive with the rubble falling down from Sokovia.
But as we'll find out in two movies,
that's not what happens. Yes.
Yeah.
We think happily ever after. They save the world. Yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's a fine third act. There's nothing terribly wrong with the third act. It's a bit long for my liking.
A little bit.
It's a bit long for my liking, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
We get a final.
Joss Whedon did a great job.
Joss Whedon did a good job.
Yeah, he did a great job.
Good.
Yeah, he did a great job.
I'm not going above good. This is a movie I never seek out to watch. This is a movie I put on in the background when I'm doing something else and I don't care what's on in the background. I don't watch it for enjoyment. I don't watch it for joy. I watch it to just kind of have it in the background. Hulk gets to the... Is what live? Oh, is this a live shot of Sokovia? We are live. It's not
Sokovia doesn't exist, but no, it's not a live shot of Sokovia.
It's probably a real castle. I'd imagine they went.
Oh, it's a real castle somewhere, but
I'd imagine it's somewhere in
Slovakia,
Czechoslovakia,
somewhere there.
It might be Romania or something like that. I could probably look at that. Hulk goes ahead and gets onto the Quinjet and he throws Ultron out. And then he starts flying away. And we'll get back to him in a little bit. We are using StreamYard to broadcast right now.
Yeah.
If that's what you're asking.
But Ultron tries to leave.
Yep.
And Vision follows him and just murders him as he should. Yep. As you should.
As you should.
Yeah.
There's in part of there, he's like, "You're so naive," and he's like, "Well, I was born yesterday."
Oh, great! That's a great line. It was a great line.
It's a good line, but again, I don't think it's a line that was written in there. I think it's something that they came up with on the spot. I'm not going to give him credit for these things. I think a lot of these quips are things that just came up on the spot.
And I think you're wrong. So
remember, I am Iron Man was not the original line. There was no line when Tony Stark snaps his fingers in Endgame. That is something that the Russos have said. That was a scene that they went back to film after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
The overlords at our local establishment would like to point out that this is our link for StreamYard. If you want to go ahead and start using StreamYard for yourself, this is our affiliate link. You can go ahead and use, and it'll help us out. It's not an overrated movie. It's rated about where it needs to be. It's a good movie, but it's not nearly as good as things that should come, and it's not nearly as good as the things that came before it. It's
better than almost everything that came before it. Are you crazy?
No, it's not better than almost everything that came before.
Okay, it's better than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Better than 6 that came before it, in my personal opinion.
Oh, Sterson is going to disagree with us and saying that he didn't like Ultron. I thoroughly appreciate Ultron in this movie. I think James Spader did an incredible job as Ultron in this. But I can see your point. Like I can see the point that I didn't like the villain being one and done. I want to see more of Ultron in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see James Spader come back as Ultron again in the future.
Me too.
Yeah, but Vision destroys the last body. We get the Avengers compound that we know and love, that we've seen in the future movies that go beyond this. The facility is run by Maria Hill, Nick Fury, Cho, Eric Selvig, all there working at the facility. Thor comes and he's having a discussion with Captain America and Iron Man, and they're talking about whether or not Vision is worthy to continue having the stone. But Captain America and Iron Man could care less about the stone. They just want to argue about the worthiness of Vision being able to wield the hammer. And they
if you put it in an elevator, it still rises, but the elevator's not worthy.
Yeah, that's such a great just shit dirtbag line.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, look, loophole. He's not real. It doesn't count. He's not human, so he's not worthy. It's just he's a machine. Yeah. And then Thor just ends it with, he can keep the Mind Stone if he can wield the hammer.
So does that mean Ultron could wield the hammer because he's not human?
Theoretically,
according
we
to
never
that
see it to find out. We've also never seen, to kind of discredit Tony Stark and Captain America here, we also never see that the thing goes up in an elevator.
That's true.
Remember, even the broken pieces were unable to be moved when the hammer breaks in Thor Ragnarok. They literally have to cut the grass and lift the grass that it's onto a pedestal to be able to display the broken pieces of Mjolnir in New Asgard.
So in that sense, an elevator would lift the hammer. Then if you can cut the ground around it and lift the ground, it means an elevator would lift the hammer.
In theory, I agree, but that we've not seen it, so we can't say that that's true.
No, but in the theory of if you can move the ground that the hammer is on,
I agree.
Yeah.
We also see Romanoff trying to get a hold of the Hulk, but the Hulk turns off the communication, and he keeps the stealth on, so we don't know where he goes. But we will find out again in Thor Ragnarok that he ends up in a wormhole that ends up sending him to
through the butthole.
Yes, through the great butthole to the trash planet.
Yeah.
And then, as Stark leaves to essentially retire from hero work, we see Captain America. We see Captain America and Romanoff go in with the new recruits, which is Sam Wilson, Falcon, Vision, Wanda Maximoff, and Rhodey.
Scarlet Witch, and War Machine.
Yeah. But the little-known lesson is that's not Elizabeth Olsen in that final scene. That is her stunt double, who looks nothing like her, because they couldn't get her back for reshoots.
When she walked up, when it shows her like floating down, that's her.
Yes, they use a different scene and they edit out the background for it. When she's standing there like with them, it is her stunt double. It's not her.
Mm-hmm. Because
there was originally a different team in the original ending of this movie, I believe. Hold on, let me confirm that one. I believe I read that somewhere.
What was the team going to be?
I'm looking for it.
Howard the Duck?
Go ahead and talk about the mid-credit scene while we're doing this.
What mid-credit scene?
With Thanos?
I know, I'm joking. Thanos just opens the case, puts the glove on, says, I got to do this myself. Even though my issue is that right at Infinity War shows Thor going to see the dwarf that makes the hammers, and he just made a glove not too long before that for Thanos. Where the hell did he get this glove from? Where the hell is this glove from? Like, he just got his glove that the dwarf made and then destroyed everything. Like, where the hell did he get it? Where the hell? No, I don't like this mid-credit scene. No.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
That mid-credit scene does not exist, in my opinion. The dumb mid-credit scene. That's all I can say. Did you find it yet?
Yeah. So one rumored version of this would have had a Captain Marvel, a version of a Captain Marvel in this scene. And the other one was Marvel had gotten the rights before the ending of the before the movie came out to have Spider-Man. And there was a chance that there was going to be a Spider-Man in the new Avengers team at the very end of the movie. Oh, he says, guys, I made a mistake. I liked Ultron. I was thinking of Civil War. Daniel Bruhl, that one I didn't like. All right. Come back in.
Again, I don't agree with that statement, and I'm going to defend that character because, while not a great villain per se, he does a good job as a villain in that movie.
I like the character that he played, but I don't think he's the character that he was supposed to be.
No, we get closer to that in the TV show, but
and we're going to get even closer to it when we get to Thunderbolts Asterisk.
Thunderbolt Star.
Asterisk.
Star.
And that's this movie. And Andre, before we get to something that I'm going to surprise you with for this, I want to go ahead and do our fun game. Yes, there's a surprise for you.
I need to talk to you about one thing that we didn't do last week. We did not rank. I did not get you to rank Guardians of the Galaxy last week. So your current list is Captain America and Winter Soldier, then Avengers, then First Avenger, then Iron Man, then Thor, Iron Man 2, Thor the Dark
World. Number 3, please, right underneath the Avengers.
Right underneath the for Guardians.
Yes, Guardians is right underneath the Avengers.
Okay, for me, where I put Guardians of the Galaxy, because my list goes Captain America and Winter Soldier, Avengers, Iron Man, then Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
And then right behind Guardians of the Galaxy, I am putting Avengers, Age of Ultron, ahead of Captain America, the First Avenger, then all the other trash movies.
Can you please put Age of Ultron right ahead of Thor the Dark World for me, please?
Do you like Thor and Iron Man 2 better?
Yes.
Ugh.
I sometimes watch those movies for joy. Again, this is a movie that I put on to have Marvel in the background, but I don't often pay attention to it.
Don't get me wrong, I enjoy me some Iron Man 2 just to watch for enjoyment. But Thor?
It took me over a week and a half of the 2 weeks we've had to actually watch this movie from beginning to end.
I literally watched it twice in 3 days. It was great.
I stopped watching it multiple times as I tried to get ready for this show. It's Thurston comes in and says, I hope Downey gets back after Deadpool because he will change the timeline. We cannot wait. We are going to have our Deadpool review on the opening weekend. We'll be here doing a Marvel talk, hopefully with 2 guests. We're going to do double confirmations on those guests after I talk to Andre to make sure we get a date set so that I can give it to our guests. But I'm going to guess that's going to be on the Sunday of opening weekend, what I would imagine.
That's my best day because I got to work the Saturday morning.
All right. So
again, I'm good for that Saturday afternoon after 2 or after 3 my time, and I'm good for Sunday.
All right. It'll either be the 27th or the 28th of June. But again, we'll get to Deadpool 3 in a minute. Andre, we're going to play our game here. Age of Ultron at the box office. What did it do? You can either check domestic or worldwide. Your choice.
I'm going to go worldwide because worldwide's easier. I'm going to go 1.5 billion. It's an Avengers movie. I think it make a little high. Okay.
1.4.
Okay, that's not bad. It's not bad. I'm only off by 100 million.
459 million domestic, 946 million overseas.
Wow. Doubled their money. More than double worldwide.
67% of the money for this movie came from the worldwide audience, not the international audience. On a budget of apparently somewhere between 250 million and 365 million. Which again, it's a good. You got some money back. It's good.
Reasonable, yeah.
Age of Ultron on Rotten Tomatoes. Remember, many of the fans of this movie, quote unquote, hate Age of Ultron. But first, what did the critics give it? 378 Rotten Tomato critic reviews. What's the number?
Critics are dicks to Josh Whedon, so I'm going to say like 73.
Not bad. We were pretty close. 76.
Ooh.
Critic score 76. Lower than most, but it's still certified fresh.
Yeah.
However, what did the audiences give it in 250,000 plus reviews?
I think more audience members are on my side than yours. So I'm going to say like 80%.
82. Very good. Not
Pretty
bad.
good. Yeah. Okay.
And by the way, since Bobby is still here in the chat, as I see our local establishment is still here, Bobby, Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F, which we reviewed and we thought was fantastic. Critics review, 67%. Audience score, 79%. I'm surprised that score 79. It's a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't seen it, go to our YouTube channel and check it out. I really like that movie. It's well,
if you haven't seen it yet, go watch the movie on Netflix, then go watch the review of it.
Yeah, you should definitely do that in that order. That would probably be better than just watching it.
Yeah.
However, Andre, I do have something that I want to show you because I think you've seen it, but neither of us have talked about it on the air.
Oh no, I haven't watched it yet. I haven't watched
it yet. Oh, fantastic.
No, let's do it.
So, for those that don't know, on September 18th, we finally get back to weekly episodes of Marvel Talk, as we are going to be having Agatha All Along. It is the spoopiest Marvel show ever.
You say poopiest?
Spoopy. It's like spooky, but not spooky.
Oh, I remember this from the Discord the other day. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Don't give me that young person lingo. Just say spooky, like a normal human.
You ready?
Yes.
Another beautiful day.
Surprised to see you out here, Detective. Jane Doe.
Cop now?
Found her down here by the water.
Cause?
Blunt force trauma.
What happened to you? I have a lead in the case, but can't shake this feeling I'm seeing it wrong.
Is this really how you see yourself? That witch is gone, leaving you trapped in her distorted spell.
Oh,
claw your way out. I miss the glory days. She took every bit of power I had, but I can beat that witch again. Well, the gang's all here. Let's hit the road. I'm gonna walk the witch's road. The road is a death wish. Join me.
What witch in her right mind would join Agatha Harkness's coven? Not looking for right-minded witches, as it happens.
Sweetheart, you okay? Oh my God! Whoa! What's she doing? Where's she going?
So, are they just doing WandaVision where they just go through all the different horror tropes instead of all the different, like, instead of all the sick? WandaVision went through all the sitcom tropes of like the biggest sitcoms. It feels just that movie feels like it's going through all the different horror movies genre, like version. You're muted, bro.
A little bit. I'm excited to see where it goes. Our new friend is Sturgeon, who, by the way, thank you for subscribing to us on YouTube. We greatly appreciate it. He's not interested because he doesn't like Agatha Harkness, which is fine. That's the greatness of the new things, of the new way that Disney's doing the Disney Plus shows. And he says Disney milking the MCU. Disney has made it very clear now that the Disney Plus things are going to be accessories that don't necessarily need to be required watching, and that you necessarily won't need to watch everything to understand the MCU going forward. There are certain things that you'll be able to pick and choose to watch that may or may not ultimately affect everything else. I think this is great.
Yeah, because like the way I look at what I think they're going is if you watch this stuff, it'll have things in the movie. There'll be little things in the movie that connect to it, and you go, oh, I see that connection. But if you don't watch these things, you aren't losing anything from watching the movie. It's how I feel they're going to go. Yeah. There'll be a connection, but they're not going to be like, hey, you need to have watched an entire 8 hours of this show to get through to this show. And I get why they're not doing that anymore.
Yeah, and Bobby comes in
enough to watch it all. So
Bobby is coming in with, I love how fall has now been dubbed Halloween season. It is. I mean, it's the end of September going into October. That is indeed the Halloween season.
It's September 18th. That is mid-September. That's not end of September. That is mid-September. Mid-September is from the 11th to the 20th. That is mid-September.
I'm just going to see something. Agatha, all along. How many episodes are we supposed to be getting from this? 8 episodes.
It literally said it in the trailer.
I didn't see that. I'll be honest.
Oh, it does. And there's 2 coming out on the first day.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Should land us right around Halloween.
Right on the day before Halloween. It will end the day before Halloween. If it runs on a Wednesday like we expect it to continue. Oh, yeah, it will, because it's debuting on the 18th. And again, you will see weekly episodes on every Wednesday from me and Andre. We'll be doing weekly recaps.
Yeah, I'm going to try, because I do also have to work my regular job on top of watching this show.
We'll make time. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll make it work.
If not, I will be there every week. And I'll have
there was a couple of shows that I did have to bow out an episode or two to do my work schedule. But that was on my old work schedule where I had to work at night. Now I'm working a job where I don't have to work at night anymore. So
I'm very excited for this, though. It looks like it's going to be fun. It looks like it's going to be spooky. It looks like it's going to be a little bit horror themed. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Bobby says they delivered that timing perfectly then. I'm just a fan of calling fall Halloween season because I love me some horror. Yes, Bobby, and I think I want to get you and Ashford in on a couple of these episodes, and Mel, as you guys are all the spooky crew from our group. So I definitely think some of you need to be involved in the reviews of some of these episodes when and where we can. But that has been a review of Age of Ultron. Join us in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we'll be back again for another edition of Marvel Talk. And Andre, we're going to be talking all things Ant-Man.
I love this movie. I rate this movie fair. Like on my scale, it's not high, but I like it. It's lower than a lot of other ones. It's just above. In my old ranking list, it's just above Age of Ultron. But I love this movie. I find it's just so much fun. It divorces itself from the grandiose nature of the Marvel Universe while being a grandiose movie at the same time, while just being a heist movie, but with some crazy aspects. And I love this movie. I think it's almost perfect, but it's not. It's definitely not.
And then I do. Bobby says, and Ant-Man was the one I went in with little expectation and left having had a fun time. It was a fun movie.
Finish that. And I'll tell you.
It says before watching that one, I want to watch Beetlejuice 2. They need to stop making movies all about the side characters. It's terrible. They kill the interest overall for better movies. Don't necessarily disagree. I think that's a good idea. But Beetlejuice 2 sounds like a great movie, and I guarantee you Bobby will be doing a review of Beetlejuice 2 when it comes out.
But the reason I think I love Ant-Man that much more is Ant-Man came out in that summer, so I went the weekend around the time of my birthday. Usually on my birthday, I'll go see a movie. Just my little weird thing I like to do on my birthday if I can.
Yep.
So on my birthday the year, I decided to go see 2 movies. The 2 comic book movies that were out at the time. Do you remember what other comic book movie was out in the summer of 2015? That was not Avengers.
No, it's not MCU related. It's something else.
It is Marvel related.
No, because Deadpool doesn't come out till February.
It is in the it's Marvel, and it's not in the X-Men. It's Fantastic Four.
Is this the second one?
No, it's the remake. It's the reboot.
Oh, okay.
So the
it's
reboot.
the original reboot.
It's the Josh Trank reboot that with Miles
The
Teller.
Josh Trank reboot. This is the one with Jessica Alba. No, this is the
2015.
Miles
Teller,
this is the really bad
Jade
one.
O'Mara, and that other guy from Jumper. Yeah.
Oh, this is the really bad one.
Yeah. So in one day, I went and saw Fantastic Four first, and then saw Ant-Man.
No wonder why
after.
you enjoyed Ant-Man so much. You watched the Fantastic Four first.
It has such a place in my heart because it helped me rebound from being crushed by that movie. Because the biggest thing for me leading up to watching Fantastic Four is Kevin Smith had Josh Trank on for a series of interviews I think it was on Batman on Batman.
Yeah.
And they had talked they did the first few episodes, and then the movie came out, and Josh said, "Yeah, don't drop the fourth part of the interview," which has never seen the light of day. And yeah, that movie fell apart, and Josh Trank said some shit online, and his career never recovered due to it. Like, I know he did the Al Capone flick a little while back, but like, because I really like Chronicle. That was a great movie. Him and Max Landis did a great movie called Chronicle, and then this happened. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I also want to put out there August 7th. As of right now, tentatively dated August 7th, we are going to do our first foray into a Marvel movie that's not in the MCU. Me and Andre are going to review Deadpool, the original.
Yeah, 3 days before my birthday.
It's coming out right after we review Deadpool 2.
Yeah, 3 days before my birthday.
Yep. So, yes, go ahead and join us for that. But, Andre, if the people want to find you and all the fun stuff that you do, where can they find you on the internet?
Okay. You can find me on the X at that kind of guy, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at that kind of dude. You can find Mel on a bunch of shit at Collins Melwell and Melwell Collins. You can find us over at YouTube at youtube.com/@Andre and Melwell Wrestling Talk, where we cover New Japan. We cover Stardom. We covered Marigold, which we are dropping a show tomorrow morning, covering the June 6th edition of Marigold. We cover all the local independent wrestling that we go to. So yeah, lots of stuff. And then you can find me on every Friday, sometimes live, sometimes pre-recorded, on the Japanese Wrestling Update, where me and Mel will break down all the biggest news in Japanese pro wrestling. We have a bunch of news, a bunch that just dropped today, also involving the WWE and somebody leaving CML and New Japan to go to the WWE, which we will talk about on the Japanese Wrestling Update. And Mel will also be talking about that on Friday with Astra Pizarro over on their channel on the Ladies Wrestling Showcase, which I'm pretty sure they recorded today. So yeah, lots of good content there. Yeah, and yeah.
You can find me on Twitter at EdFries12584. You can find me on the Twitch at twitch.tv/EdFries2002. This week, we've got an episode of Taking Over coming again next Tuesday. We just did an episode last night. So if you want a recap of all things NXT last night, go ahead and watch me and Ash as we cover that. Yeah, I'm getting ready for June 19th. June 19th is a big day. I get to see JT Dunn in the first defense of his fourth reign of the Chaotic Championship, taking on Dijak. Yeah, Dijak's coming back to Chaotic.
You're watching OLE, and this is a Dijak hijack.
We were just indeed Dijak hijacked. But thank you all for joining us. Marvel Talk will be back in 2 weeks with an Ant-Man MCU Rebound review. So we'll see you then. Have a great night, everyone. Talk to you later. Goodbye.